Bayer. Picking them up. Easy. I'll take you off the TV so fast and make your head spin. That's right.
He's trying to get out of his cage.
You want him to come out? Well, come on out. Hi, monkey. Hi, monkey. Hi.
Not really monkeys, they're apes. What's on the slide?
Come on, monkey.
How did it get down?
Hold still, please.
Anytime.
Still. Come on up if you want, but hold still.
Okay. I'll let you guys come in.
Right on it.
Well, leave though, that would be good either.
over the course.
That's all we need is just like a head. Is there?
See that ear move?
Yo, leopard. Okay, why don't you walk down and off the path here, just and kind of get around the fence right over here, see if they do anything. See if they think you're a piece of meat.
Here, go stick your finger in the fence.
Right around that light pole there. Yeah, it's working. Keep going.
Who was that, Emily? Can you see how? Do you see how he's watching everything up there?
Highly. Okay.
Our turn? Okay.
Yeah.
He tends to rock it right after those little sparrows.
Your turn, John. You're in the hot seat now.
Okay.
If I hold that.
I'll be when I get ready.
I'm gonna ask you things like this.
That'll be great.
Dogs and other things, yeah.
Now,
Get them involved.
are you still going to have the Explorer, the Lost Explorer? Is that still planned, or?
Well, these are ideas that are being discussed. I'm pretty sure we're going to have the abandoned research station of the absent scientist somewhere. Now, which bioclimatic zone it's going to be.
Oh, okay.
Rolling now. Are you
Action.
Are you like rolling right now? Like right now you're rolling.
Look at the tape.
Two-shot establisher, sir. There we go.
Hi, Mom.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta
Hi,
get.
Mom.
Yeah, you gotta get a shot in here.
Thanks.
Okay.
So, John, why don't you first tell me your name, spell it, and give me your title.
My name is John Bierlein, and Bierlein is spelled Bierlein, and my title is Curator of Education.
And how long have you been here?
I've been here for about 2 years now.
So what makes Woodland Park so special? Why is this zoo different than other zoos?
Well, I think what makes our zoo different and special is the very value-driven philosophy that we have here. I think we're really committed to developing naturalistic exhibits that essentially present our animals in a way that emphasizes their dignity, in a way that doesn't allow people to continue to think of themselves as dominating nature. So we're really trying to bring nature to the forefront, and of course we're very interested in developing multi-species exhibits where we have different species interacting together and interacting with their environment much as they would in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
And where we start seeing animals as ambassadors for their species, representatives of their wild counterparts. And the whole environment that we try to replicate as being representative of habitats that in many cases are severely threatened.
Have you run into any roadblocks in this plan?
Some
Yeah,
people, I think, prefer to see animals very close up. They remember experiences at at the old zoo, where they're able to get nose to nose with some animals, and where animals were sometimes seen as public pets. So I think that many people continue to prefer to see animals that way, and are not, at this point, used to being immersed into naturalistic settings, where they become a part of nature, but not standing any higher than the animals themselves.
Because you've actually been having some complaints about what people think that the zoo is unkempt, or not. Is that the word I'm saying? But you know it. Right?
Yeah, many people expect to see very manicured exhibit areas where the grass is cut, where we don't allow the vegetation to reach its full form. But of course, in nature, the plants grow along with the animals. The animals eat some of the plants, or actually remove plants to make nests from, or to pack their dens with. So I think many people do prefer in some ways to see a highly manicured exhibit area, where the naturalistic setting really calls for allowing nature to take its course.
So what's wrong with the place still?
We still, I think, have some artifacts from the past, some old exhibits that are primarily concrete and steel, in which...
Okay. Are you rolling? So what's wrong? What's wrong with the place?
Well, many of our older exhibits are essentially artifacts from the past. They're almost testimony to some of the original sins of zoos, when we knew much less about animals and their need for naturalistic habitat. Consequently, they're primarily made of concrete and steel and look to us sometimes like prison cells with very little vegetation in them. And of course, we're committed to changing that as quickly as we can. So there are some poor exhibits. We're sometimes referred to as the best of zoos and the worst of zoos.
What's in store for the future now?
Well,
So what are the big plans?
we have a lot of work ahead of us. Essentially, we'll be redeveloping the entire zoo. 7 new exhibit complexes, each of them representing one or more bioclimatic zones. These are worldwide zones that essentially focus on plant and animal communities as they appear in nature.
What are the 7 zones? Can you...
Well, the Northern Trail Complex includes the tundra, montane, and taiga. The steppe is a bioclimatic zone. Savanna is a bioclimatic zone. The tropical forest zone, and the North Temperate Forest zone.
Okay. We'll hold on here a minute here.
Okay.
Hold it.
Rolling.
Now, do other zoos come and visit you guys, and to learn things?
They do, and we visit other zoos too. I think we're all undergoing kind of a renaissance in terms of our thinking about how our zoos should be, for the benefit of animals and for people.
We'd like that one again.
I also want you to explain to me what the SSP.
Well, let's give it a try.
We'll give it a shot. Why don't you explain to me how you are linked up with other zoos throughout the world? What is your bond here? How do you, through the species survival plan, but you'll have to explain the whole thing here.
Yeah, there's a great deal of cooperation now between zoos, and I think one of the most important things we do together is to work within the Species Survival Program, which is a coordinated program among zoos to breed certain endangered species in captivity. And as a consequence, we send animals to other zoos on breeding loan. We receive some animals from other zoos as well. And the idea is to sustain as much biological diversity as we can, with the hope that we may be able to actually reintroduce some of these species into the wild if their habitats are preserved.
Now, what are some of the ones that you have, for as far as endangered species?
In our
that are-
SSP program, for example, we have our snow leopards, lion-tailed macaques, golden lion tamarins. Those are 3 species that come immediately to mind at our zoo.
Okay. And so you'll put together a program, and then you'll try and actually reintroduce these species in the population. How much success have you had?
Well, there has been some
And how new
success.
is this?
It's relatively new. Of course, it doesn't make sense to reintroduce animals to the wild unless you're fairly certain that their chances for survival are high. That means that the habitat has to be adequately protected. And of course, that relies on political and legislative factors in other countries. And it also demands that we know something about the behavior of these animals. And sometimes zoos can obtain at least some behavioral data that might be useful as we plan reintroduction programs. It's hard to extrapolate from what you observe among animals in captivity to know for sure, but a little bit of knowledge assists us, I think, as we start looking ahead to the possibility of reintroducing animals to the wild.
So what's the future of wildlife in the wild anyway? I mean, what's the... Okay, okay. All right.
We're not doing endangered species.
Yeah, you're right.
Why is a zoo important to a community?
Well, I think the zoo is important to community for a number of reasons. I think it serves as a symbol of hope for those of us who are concerned with wildlife. It's also a mirror of the global society of which we're becoming a part. It represents habitats in a number of countries. It reminds us of the importance of preserving wildlife that may not be in our own backyard. And we as American consumers can do certain things to help ensure that habitats are preserved, whether that's becoming involved with conservation organizations that do specifically that, or whether it means just changing our lifestyles as consumers a bit so that we lessen the impact we have on resources that may be far beyond the boundaries of our own country. So I think in a sense that our importance is becoming as a tool for public education. I think we're also important as a captive breeding center for certain endangered species too. I think that's very important. So our conservation role really comes in two very major thrusts currently.